Hello again, guys. Um, all right, so in the last video, we were working on doing a deposit transaction. So, um, so as you know, normally a deposit is something that you would do maybe at an ATM or something like that. There's other ways in terms of sending money into an account or someone having an account, or an online bank account and so forth. But again, guys, just remember we're just having fun here and all of that. So but yeah, in the last video we were doing a deposit, and so as you saw, we were able to do deposit some amount into the account and so forth. And so today we're just going to focus on doing a transfer. I want to start with the transfer because I think that one is going to be the easiest one. So basically, the idea is the user needs to be able to transfer money from one account to the other, right? So for that to happen, as you if you remember, currently if you check at the top there, or let me just start over, we're gonna go into the transfer form, right? So in the transfer form, if you check, um, there's going to be a drop down or a select a component where we select which account that we want to transfer from, and then there's going to be another drop down where we're going to set up a component, a select option where we're gonna select the account we want to transfer to. So, and then here is the section where we enter the amount that we want to transfer, and then here is the button that we're gonna click to submit the form. So now, these two down here, the button and the input field where we're gonna transfer, or we're gonna enter the transfer amount, these we don't need to touch. What we can do is, if you remember in the deposit form, right, we have we are looping through the accounts that belong to this particular user, and so this is what we're going to use within the transfer form. Okay, so I'm going to copy this part here. I hope you can see it because I know that the JSPs are not color coded accordingly within IntelliJ, but if you can see there, this is a form group, and then within here we are looping through the various accounts that this particular user has. So this is what we're going to use within the transfer form. So I'm going to copy this part. I'm going to come back here. So these two components that you see here, where it says account ID, we are going to delete this part because we don't need that. We already got one that we already have it here. So what I'm pasting is what we copied from the deposit form. And so here we got we're looping through an account. So this one, the name of it is going to be transfer uh, transfer we're going to say from. This one is going to be transfer from transfer from. Okay, and then we're going to paste this particular item again, this component again, or that form input, right? Okay, and then this one we're going to change the name from account ID to transfer to. All right, then again it's doing the same thing. It's just going to loop over the accounts again, and then here we will select the account we are transferring from, and then here we're going to select the account we are transferring to. Now if you remember when we were creating this transfer form, like I said before, I had forgotten to put this within a form element or a form tag. So what we're going to do is right before the body here, and right before the body here where it says end of card body, we're going to copy everything, right? And then we're going to cut it out, and then we're just going to set the transfer from here. Okay, right. And then here we can say form. All right, and then we can paste back those elements that we cut out. Okay, so right, so this is the end of the form, and then up here is the beginning of the form. So now we need to enter the action. I might as well type it out here. So remember, within the transact controller, the first parameter will be, or the first of the URI will be transact, and then remember in the deposit form it was transact and then deposit. So in here we're gonna say transact, same thing, transact, right? And then we're gonna say transfer. Okay, that's where we're gonna post our form. So and then we say method is equal to post. All right, that's it. All right, so now that we've got that settled here within the form, um, we already have the input where we're gonna enter the amount we want to transfer. So here within the transact form, transact controller, right below where it says end of deposits, here we're gonna get another post mapping, right? And then this one is gonna be transfer. Okay, then we're gonna say public and then string, and then here we're just gonna say transfer. Okay, let's just return an empty string for now. Okay, and then here we're gonna put in our parameters. So parameter add request param. So remember we have the transfer from, correct? We're gonna copy that, come back here, and then we're gonna enter a string and say transfer from. Okay, and then again we're gonna say param request param, and then again we're gonna get that input where we say transfer to. And again we say string transfer transfer to. Okay, so now remember we are getting that account ID, we are getting the account ID, not the name. So don't worry about how you'll see how I set it up within the controller there. But remember what we are retrieving is the ID, right? Though I'm saying transfer from, transfer to, we are still retrieving the ID. Okay, so now we got that, and then we need the transfer amount. So we say request param, and then we're gonna get the transfer amount, which is this input field over here, right? And then this is also going to be a string, right? And then we're going to say tran transfer amount, right? And then we need the HTTP session. In fact, you know what, but it's fine, we already done it. So I should have set this particular variable at the top, but it's fine. It's not actually going to work that way in any case. So redirect attributes, and then we're going to say redirect attributes. Okay, all right, I think we have all that we need. So now we want to say to do check for empty fields. All right, and then what we need now, um all right, so here we will right, and then here we will okay. So now let's start with the if statement. We're going to say if we're going to check for the transfer from dot is empty, and then we also going to check for transfer to dot is empty, and then we're going to also check for the transfer amount, right? So here we're going to redirect them. So let's just copy that here, right? This is going to be an error. And here we're going to say transfer. Let's just say the account transferring from and to cannot transferring from and to along with the amount cannot be empty. This is way too long. Let me just cut this out and put it in a variable. Right, so we're saying transferring. All right, so that's our error message, and then here we can say error message, right? Okay, and then so we're just basically checking if the user is submitting the form without selecting any of these fields or entering anything within that field. All right, so and then it'll return to the dashboard and flash this mirror. So remember, we already set that error message within the dashboards, which is up here. So once it sees this, it'll display that error in there. Okay. All right. So if they are not empty, we're gonna then come here. We're gonna say the transfer from is going to be um, it's going to be an integer, right? We're gonna say transfer from ID equals to um, integer dot pass int, and then we're gonna say transfer from. All right, so this should make sense now. We're taking the ID of the account that we're transferring from, right, and we are passing it into an integer. That's what we're getting there. And then here we're gonna say int transfer to ID. It's gonna equal to integer dot pass int, and then here we're gonna say transfer from transfer to, sorry. All right, we also gonna pass that that amount. We're gonna say double. I'm gonna say transfer amount, and then it's gonna equal to double dot pass double, and then you're gonna enter the transfer amount. All right, so remember, the one we're getting from the form is transfer underscore amount, and then the one we are now setting is just transfer amount in camel case. Okay, so we got that. So now here we're gonna say if, oh yeah, actually there's another check we need to do here, right? So to do, right, we're gonna say check if transferring into the same account, right? So remember, the user um, can easily select the same account and say transfer from, let's say, Sam's Bakery, and then he's transferring from that account, and then he's transferring into Sam's Bakery again. So we need to also check for that. So here we're going to say if the transfer from ID equals the transfer to ID, then we're gonna set our error message again. So let's copy what we did within here and paste paste it in here. So the error message will be cannot transfer into the same account, right? And then we can say please um, select the appro did I spell that right? Appropriate. Please select the appropriate accounts to perform transaction. To perform, let's say transfer. Yeah. Okay. Let's do this. All right. And then here we can remove that. Okay. So okay. Um, yeah. So here we're gonna check if he's using if the account ID the user selected is equal to the account ID that they are transferring to. We're then gonna display this error message over here. Otherwise, if there's no issues, we can come here and check and say if transfer amount no trans the one we need to get is this one, right? If it is equal to 0, again we're gonna come back and place that those values within here, right? Here we can say uh, cannot transfer an amount of we can say 0, put that there. All right, and then we can say please we can say whatever we can say, please enter a value greater than and same thing here. I'm gonna copy that there, paste it here. Right. So again, if this is what happens, the error message that's gonna display is that one. All right. Okay. So now, if everything passes through here, now what we need to do is to do get current balance. Okay. So we're gonna say, how did we get the current balance up here? Oh, okay. So we can copy this here. Um, all right. And then here we're gonna say user. You know what? I think I should set this up here. Let me say user, right? And say user, and set that to null initially. And then here, where's the here we can just remove that since we're gonna use it a number of times. All right. And then same thing here. We don't need to add that, right? And then we can say equal to, right? And then say session dot get attribute, and then we're gonna say user, right? So we're gonna say double um, current balance. You know what? We can even do the exact same thing with it because we're gonna use that number of times. So we can say double and then current balance, right? And then here, where is it? Right, and then here we can just also do the same thing. So current balance will equal to what is it? Account repository dot uh, get account balance, right? Then we're going to say user dot id, and then the account is going to be from, remember we're transferring from a specific account, so the id that we need to get is the id of the account that we're transferring from, right? Transferring from here. All right, and then here what do? We're gonna set new balance, right? Okay, so here again, sorry about this guys, so I just realized that a lot of these values we're going to use them quite a lot, so I'm going to copy this part here, right? And then also set it up here at the top. Okay, so here we'll just say new balance will equal to the current balance minus the transfer amount, right? Minus the transfer amount, and then here is where we're going to update the account. So we're going to say account repository dot change account by id, right? So the id that we're getting is the id of the uh, account that we're transferring from. Sorry, the new balance is going to be uh, new balance. Okay, all right, and then here we can do the exact same thing. Here we can say um, change the balance of the account transferring from. Okay, all right, so here we can say account repository, so dot change account by id, right? So here is change, let me copy this comment here, right? Okay, change the about transferring to. Okay, so we need to new set another balance here, double uh, yeah, I think I shouldn't have changed that, but it's fine. Double, let's just say new balance of account transferring to, right? Which is going to be the current balance plus the transfer amount, right? Where do I have a spelling error there? Let's see. Variable new is never used. Oh, okay, whatever. All right. right? And then here we'll say new balance transferring to, and then the ID is going to be the account transfer to ID, right? So just let me explain again. So here we are updating the balance of the account that we're transferring from. So to make it simple, we can change this as well and say, so that it stays consistent, we can change this, right, and say transferring from, so that it makes much more sense. Trans, trans, right? Let's paste it here. Transferring to, here it's transferring from, right? Okay, so we the ID that we're getting, sorry, the amount that here we're setting the new balance for. Remember, we are deducting from one account and then sending the amount into another account. So here we take the current balance, right, of the we take the current balance of the account that we're transferring from, right, and then we are setting it here. We're going to say minus that value there. We actually have to do the exact same thing here. Actually, I almost didn't see that. You know what, I made a blunder here, but in any case, let's do this. Current balance of account transferring from, right? Let's set that to a double, and then right, and here we're gonna say 2. All right, so here we are getting the current balance of the account that we are transferring from, and then here we're going to change and say current balance of the account we are transferring to, right? So here um, that's the balance, and then here what we need to do is change, so this is transferring to, so we're going to do that, and this is transferring from, right? And then we're going to change that. Okay, so remember, we are deducting this amount from the current balance from the account that we are transferring from, and then here we are adding the transfer amount to the account that we are transferring to. So um, hopefully that makes sense. Apologies for that, I almost made a blunder here. So in any case, and then here we are using that new balance, right, and then we are also setting it here. So hopefully I did everything correctly there, and then here we can then redirect to the dashboard again. Okay, um, all right, okay, amount transferred successfully. All right, and then this is going to be success. Okay, so yeah, apologies for that, guys. I almost made a blunder here. So here we are setting the new balance, or we're getting the current balance of the account that we are transferring from, right? And then we are getting the new balance. We're getting the current balance of the account that we're transferring to, right? And then here we are setting a new balance for the account that we are transferring from, which is going to take the current balance, which is, um, let's say it's 1,300, right? And then we're gonna minus the transfer amount. So if the transfer amount was 300, right? The transfer amount was 300. The new balance then within here would then be $1,000. Yeah, I hope I was able to clarify that. And then here we are setting the balance of the new um, of the account that we're transferring to. So remember, we're getting the current balance there, and then um, we are adding the transfer amount, right, to this current balance. Okay, so hopefully I was also able to clarify this one as well. So yeah, in any case, I think we can proceed to test it. Hopefully I did everything correctly. So I'm just gonna deploy the application, then we will test it once it's up and running. One moment for me, please. All right, guys. So the server is now up. So far, no errors within the console. So let's just log into the application. So we're gonna say 127 port 8080. So we're gonna go to login. Okay, so let's see. We have 1,300 within Sam's Bakery, and then we have 1,200 within Sam's Coffee Shop. So what we will do is transfer 300 bucks from this account to this account. So we should have 1.5 after that. All right. So now before we do the transfer, the first thing we need to do is I wanna what's going on here? Uh, okay, so the styling of the button somehow changed. Uh, what did I do here? Okay, BTN. Oh, okay. I'm missing a closing tag there. Alright, so now I need to deploy the app again. Alright, apologies for that, guys. So I'm gonna redeploy the app and then we'll test again once it's up. One moment for me, please. Alright, the server is up. Okay, let's come back here. We're gonna need to sign out and then sign in again. Okay, so yeah, I was missing a closing tag there. That's why it wasn't showing. So what I want to do is submit the form without selecting anything here. Let's see. Okay, all right. So the button is not submitting. Uh, it's in within the form, and then we also have it here. Oh man, apologies, guys. I keep making all these mistakes. Was missing an equal sign there. Um, yeah, apologies, guys. So I'm gonna redeploy the app again, and then hopefully that was the last issue. So I'll check it. We'll check it once it's up. All right, the server is up. No error so far. Hopefully that was the last issue. So let's sign out. The reason I'm signing out is because every time we redeploy the app, it does destroy the last session. So um, we have to keep signing in again. What the hell? For some odd reason now there's another issue. All right, guys, just give me a second. I just want to check what it is exactly what it is exactly I did within here. Just hold on. How's it, guys? I'm back. Okay, so all right. One of the reasons this form is not submitting, um, if you check here, when I made this comment, transfer form, I actually missed out a slash or a dash over there, and so it commented out this particular form. So that is one of the reasons why it's not submitting it, um, which is odd because I mean, I don't know, that's a stupid thing to, um, I mean, to encounter. I mean, um, in another IDE, this would have shown that this was commented out. So I don't know, but it didn't look like it. So, but in any case, I think that's what the issue is here. So the form is commented out. What's this here? Okay, here we select the amount, but the first part of the form was commented out. So I think that was the issue there. And then yeah, but let me just redeploy the file again. And again, hopefully that was the last issue. In fact, let me check. Okay, end of transfer form. All right, that seems fine. So let's pause the video again, and then again, hopefully that was the last issue. We'll be back in a sec. All right, the server is up now. Okay, so we're gonna need to sign out. Before we even continue, I just want to check that element again. All right, so we are in the off canvas, off canvas start. Then we're gonna go into the body, the transfer card. Uh, that's the body. Okay, that's the form. So it looks like it's showing now. All right, so let's see if now our transaction will work. So transfer. Okay, so the account transferring from N to along with the amount cannot be empty. Okay, so our check is now working. The other one is to see if, okay, let's select an account. Oh yeah, let's select the same account and see if it will work. Um, and then yeah, transfer cannot be empty. Okay, so we need to oh yeah, so we need to put in amount. So let's say 200 bucks transfer. Okay, cannot transfer into the same account. Please select the appropriate account to perform transfer. Okay, so that check is now working as well. So the other one is to see if when we transfer an amount of zero. So let's say transfer. Okay, so cannot transfer an amount of zero value. Please enter a value greater than. Yeah, all right. So that works. So now let's see if now when we do transfer the correct amount, does it work or not? By the way, when I was looking for what the issue was with the form not submitting, I did transfer some amount that was, I mean, I did deposit another amount. So we're gonna deduct about 600 bucks from there and then transfer that into this account. So this should then be 1,600 after that. So let's try that. So I'm gonna say Sam's Coffee Shop, and then we're gonna say 600 bucks. All right, amount transferred successfully, right? So if we check, it is now, oh sorry, not 1006, 1008, and then in here we should have 1,000 bucks. All right, um so it looks like our transfer is working accordingly. So if we want to send the money back, transfer, you can see Sam's Coffee Shop, Sam's Bakery, and then we can put in the 200 bucks if we want to say transfer. Amount transferred successfully, we should have 1002, and then in here 1006. All right, okay, so yeah, yeah, that was a really stupid issue to have there. I mean, other IDEs normally, if you were to miss some sort of what you call it, some sort of commenting format here, it would have shown that this part was commented out, but for some odd reason this didn't do that. In any case, I don't know if it's because I'm using the community edition of this, but yeah. And then the other thing is, yeah, I think that's it in terms of the transfer. But again, guys, I hope I didn't confuse you guys in the last bit there here. I almost confused myself when I was setting this up, but hopefully you were able to see what I'm doing here. We are we are getting the current balance of the account that we're transferring from, and then here we are getting the current balance of the account that we are transferring to, right? And then here we are setting the new balance of the account that we are transferring from by deducting the amount, the transfer amount, right? And then here we are taking the account, the new, here we are setting the new balance of the account that we're transferring to, and we are taking the current balance and adding the transfer amount to that. And then here we update the account with that we are transferring to, and I mean transferring from, and then here we are updating the account that we are transferring to. So I hope I didn't confuse you guys, like I almost confused myself. One of the reasons I set up these two um, variables here, because I know that there's going to be a number of occasions where I use this particular what you call it, these two variables, getting the current balance and setting the new balance. But I forgot that in the transfer that might be a different case, but we will check and see once we work with the withdrawal, as to how we can use these variables, these two variables over here. But in any case, yeah, that's it for the video, guys. Yeah, like I said, hopefully I didn't confuse you guys and you were able to follow along with what I was doing there. In any case, that's it for the video, guys. Again, if you've liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you guys within the next video. Cheers for now.